I'm doing it. There we go.
Okay.
We are now recording. Cheryl, you can take over.
Okay. I'll call the meeting to order and thank everybody for coming, either virtually or real. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes if everybody's read them or if they don't have no corrections or amendments to the meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
All righty, thanks, Randy.
I'll second.
And Wayne will be second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All righty. Next up, do we have any audience comments?
We did not receive any emails.
All righty. Correspondence and announcements, the PACD monthly report. There was something in there that struck me. I don't know what it was. So many pages. Okay, now I can't remember it. Sorry about that. Just give it another look.
The latest turmoil that is that PACD is dealing with and all the districts deals with nutrient management. And luckily it doesn't involve us.
Right, we don't have a lot of animal.
Well, we just don't have enough that they
Make
give
it-
us money.
Right, that's it.
Let's run the program.
Okay, well, since I can't find it, I'll bring it up later if I can figure out what it was, but I don't see it. All righty, so we've heard from PACD, nothing, their problem is nutrient management and we're not very nutritious.
No, there's the other issues they're working on. One of the things, we do have a video call like once a month with all the managers and bring the updates of some different things. There's some regulations being proposed regarding stormwater that are interesting that we're trying to follow up on.
All right.
But the nutrient management was, it had to do with requiring the districts to start doing compliance inspections of farms. And that was not what they felt they were set up to do. They were set up to be a voluntary service to help the farmer. And doing the compliance inspection, they don't know that the money is worth that. So there's a lot of anger out there right now. So let's put it
I shouldn't have to do this kind of anger, like.
Yeah, we're not going to even take the money. So we'll
Right.
see what they do. That does not affect us.
So that's about all you can see in there?
From PACD, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, now I will entertain a motion to file all bank statements for audit. I'm presuming that you have read where the money is coming from. So can I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, thanks.
I'll second.
Randy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. Emergency reviews. Motion to approve for deposit the following emergency reviews. And I was interested, what is the Archdiocese giving money for? $900?
Yeah, 'cause it's on the market.
I'm reviewing it right now. They're tearing down an existing brick building and then they're gonna install a parking lot with an underground infiltration basin.
Oh, wait.
So just basically improving the parking.
Oh, good. This is in Upper Darby, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just wondered. And 262 South Radnor Chester Road in Radnor. What's that one? Doesn't look like it's very much.
No, $200 if
Yeah, right.
the stream bank cable.
Oh, good. Okay. All righty. So I will entertain a motion to do this one, the emergency reviews.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Second, anyone?
I'll second it.
Okay, well, we're gonna. Ray do it? Is that who seconded, Ray?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
I'll second it.
Right.
Spread it around.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Make it look like everybody's actively
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Yes?
Aye.
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 There are checks to be signed. And it turns out there's remainder of the spotted lanternfly grant funds. That's interesting.
Yes, we bought some more circle traps to use up the remaining of our allocation. We didn't buy them last fall after we did the distribution because we didn't want to store them all.
Yeah,
Now we
right.
have
We
them, so
don't have
We
space
didn't,
for it.
we only had $1,000,
Mhm.
close to 1,000 there to spend on it.
Right.
And they'll probably be used for, doing some work within the county parks.
Right, right. That makes sense.
Give it a month.
Okay, the Penn State Master Watershed Specialist ordered and paid for planting materials at Fair Acres Basin Naturalizing Project. Expenses covered by the Growing Greener grant from DEP. Okay, so that is working out. The site at Fair Acres is working out, right?
Yeah, that's on the agenda. I think Karen
Okay,
will
all right.
talk
We'll
about
talk
it.
about that later, all right.
But the plant materials, the master watershed specialist have bought them in advance, and we're just reimbursing them, then we will
Okay.
reimburse from the county. I mean, from
Good.
the Growing Green account.
Right. Excellent.
Oops.
Alrighty, and the third one is for, I don't know, to get reimbursed for already spending money.
Yeah.
To attend the basic training course. We hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
That one also, the PACD gets grant money, so we'll get close to all $600 or so.
We'll get it
We'll be
back.
reimbursed for that training.
Hi, Steve, and happy birthday.
Yeah.
I told everybody already.
Thank you.
Mhm. Oh, did I need a motion? Well, did I need a motion request before doing this? Yes. For signing them.
Yeah, we can do them all at once.
Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion to sign the checks.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. All righty, next up, old business. Boy, that one's like old business. Smedley Park Low Volume Road Project. Ms. Karen is going to tell us about this one.
I think it'll be both Ed and I.
Oh,
that
really?
needs to help with
Okay.
the date. But the most recent update is that Stantec, the engineer that the county hires to come up with they did the surveys and they came up with the plans to put out for bid. So they do plan on advertising the project, I think in August. Is that correct, Ed? Or no, I'm sorry, in
That's when the bid should be opened in August.
Okay.
So they're going to have a bid, they're going to have a pre-bid meeting, and Karen's going to attend that for us to answer any questions they may have on the grant, potential bidders. And that was coming up, what date was that, June something,
I believe it was like July 6th.
July 6th.
I just realized all of you have masks on. Should I have a mask on?
It's funny, I don't know. We were told yes, and we were never told no. And I know the solid waste board didn't have them on when they were meeting.
I'll just stay away from
The
it.
county council. So I have a mask, I protect you.
There we go. I'm fine. I'm fine. My grandson always says that. I'm fine. I'm
You
fine.
sound much better, by the way, too. It's all finally got it.
Yeah, right, exactly, finally. Okay, so bid opening in August, so that's good.
Yeah, so
Moving
it's
along.
only gonna be questionable about how much money is going to be,
Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
Elaine's gonna put her mask on. See, I forgot to put mine on. You have to stay.
I'm a
away.
little follower.
And, yeah, right, and, want one, Wayne, I have an untouched one. Somewhere.
I'll hold my breath.
Okay, that's it.
I did open the window too. Literally.
I'll just use it. All right.
Last packet.
As it should be. Worked out just right. No paper waste, right? Okay, there we go. All right. So next up is the PACD Growing Greener mini grant, $2,000, which we discussed last month is going to be switched from Smedley Park where you were working to do.
Has been switched.
Has been
Yes.
switched, okay. Perfect. And is going to Fair Acres. And The naturalization project. Good.
So, this project is completed.
Woo-hoo.
Let's see, there are probably about, I would say, 12 to 15 district staff. Thank you, Ari and Michelle, for coming out. And I think 10 or 11 master watershed steward volunteers who came out to Fair Acres on the hottest day of the year so far, last Tuesday. But we planted more than 800 shrubs and plugs
Whoa.
inside the stormwater basin at Fair Acres. We were able to water all of them. We did not get deer protection in that day because everyone was very tired. But we did go back and put fencing around the basin. So now we have submitted the final report to PACD to close out the grant. And we're just gonna go back and keep an eye on it and do some watering throughout the summer as needed.
How big is it?
The basin is a smaller basin. I couldn't give you a size off the top of my head.
It's a,
I probably couldn't visualize it.
no, but you look, see at rain gardens, well, this one's about 5 times as big as that little rain garden.
Right, right. Okay, so it's relatively good size.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would say, I think I got we put 2 fences around it, 2 lengths of pool fences, and I'm pretty sure those were each, I want to say 75 to 100 feet. So it's
Okay,
about 150 to 200 feet circumference.
okay. Good, nice. So it's a good size.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm.
And it'll beautify Jerry.
Yes.
What was the issue that the medical examiner had?
I think they had called, the grounds manager there and was wondering why I was out there with a really long hose running from their building to the basin, watering the plants this morning,
Oh,
but it's because they
Okay.
need water.
that needs to be examined medically.
Yeah. I'd be happy to explain to them if they need it.
So they were watered when we put them in, and then we had the rain, and then we watered them again. And, the deer only munched on a few of the shrubs, I guess. They
weren't that hungry.
they're very prolific.
Yeah.
Very,
Everything's still living though.
Oh, good. Oh,
There's
good.
still bugs on.
Well, next time you go and take a picture.
Yeah, I
Put it
plan-
on, we can put it on our website.
yeah, I have, I did share it on Facebook,
Uh-huh,
so
right.
check it out.
Okay, excellent, thanks. Okay, what's happening with the tech, and thank you. And what's happening with the technician vacancy?
good news. We had 3 interviews set up by the personnel department. We did them all virtually. One person turned us down, but we did get the person from who has a Tennessee that happens to be moving up to this area, already has an apartment leased up here. And he had 6 years in the Air Force. Yeah, 6 years in the Air Force. And also has a degree in plant science and working in a greenhouse situation.
Oh, good.
So she will start, she has the middle of July, they're moving up, so it's going to be August 1st as her start date.
Okay, good.
Carmen, and how did Weiger?
That certainly went more quickly than it often has.
Yeah, we did definitely fast. That's why I
Just hang there for a
working
month.
with,
Hang there for a month, waiting for someone to come.
and it was ideal working with the recruiter specialist who was helping us for talent. He was very on top of things. We had only one problem. Both of these applications didn't come from Indeed that we interviewed. They came from posting on the PSP website. Indeed was locked up for some reason. They didn't show it to the public. He had it listed. So he corrected that, and I did finally get to see it, and we did get some applications in. But that was the only problem we had doing the whole thing. So it worked out very well.
Excellent. Now we can look forward to meeting someone new in August, huh?
Mhm.
Excellent. And it's a woman, right? And her name is?
Carmen Schweiger. I think it was Schweiger was the name of a sniper.
Oh, jeez.
Not good.
Is that with an
Not
I? SWI?
Y.
That's the new one.
Oh,
And it's
slide group.
D at the end, not T.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she's Dutch. Maybe. Okay. Alrighty, good. All business taken care of. New business. PA State Envirothon competition results. Ding, ding.
Once again, I'm very proud of the Pencrest High School team. They went on to the state competition on a mission, and they finished third in 3 of the 6 components. First in 3 of the 6 components, and they finished with a score of 556.33. And the next closest team was Erie County with 525.17. Northampton. Closest county around the region here was Montgomery County. Bucks County was number 14, and Chester County was number 16.
So who won?
Pencrest.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, you just said their score wasn't. I'm thinking, well,
I
that's.
started off, I was very proud, yeah.
Right, exactly.
First is,
Excellent,
yeah.
very good.
Yeah,
I'll put a star next to you.
they were the team, the red team won last year. They came in second in the state.
Mhm.
Red team was the first time they won, beat the gold team in the history of the marathon in Delaware County. So the kids were experienced. So when
Right.
they came this year, they had some work to do after the counting event because the score wasn't as high as they wanted. So they focused in on the training. We took out the trunk for the wildlife and gave it to them, and they used that to their advantage and learned from.
Of the little skeletons and pelts, right?
And, yeah, things that we don't have around the office
Right,
normally, but
right,
the
exactly.
game commission gave us this trunk with all the supplies we need to help with preparing the study for the marathon. It helped to pay off. They did well.
Excellent. So we had really works.
They changed the marathon format to a 1-day event, and the oral component they still did via Zoom, so they could lower it down. They did it.
Right.
They recorded their videos and then did a Zoom presentation to the judging panels.
Oh, good. Excellent. Something to be proud of.
Guess you don't know the door's open.
I didn't know the door was open because it's often locked, so I buzzed you also.
If you want to go check, I think it's the guy from Michelle's friend.
Skills, right?
The one that has drop-off plans that hasn't come in the time.
Nah,
I don't
I
know.
think they tried the door for adults, but you just really have.
That wasn't your friend.
No.
He's a special admirer.
Was,
Steve's good, that's good, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad we're friendly. Okay. All righty, thanks a lot. That's just very good news. Next up, the QAB Low Volume Road Recommended Actions. A report by Karen.
Yes, so we just had a QAB meeting to talk about 2 items, and we made some recommendations for the board. So I'll just talk about them and then we can figure out how we want to do
It's
it.
just to update the board, the QAB meeting is required by the low volume road program, and it consists of 2 members from the Conservation District, Karen and myself, and then also a member from the PA Fish Commission, which was being filled in now because we don't have a waterways conservation officer, by Aaron Scheck, and then also Beth from the NRCS, was the other member. Sorry.
So we have, I believe we have 5 active contracts right now with grantees, and all of them have been really good at communicating with me about the project statuses. 3 of the projects have expired. So Edgemont Township expired on June 1st. Newtown and Milburn have both expired today. Edgemont Township started construction before their contract expired. So really, this is just an administrative issue that we need to fix. But our policy states that we call a meeting with the QAB, talk about a time extension, and then bring it to the board. So to help Edgemont Township finish up to allow them time to finish construction and get their project paperwork in and some completion report, do a completion site visit and all that. We recommend extending their contract to August 1st, so an additional 2 months to finish up everything and get paid out. Newtown Township, similar situation, except they had finished construction and submitted everything but one document to me before their deadline. They sent me their final document a few minutes before a QAB meeting. So they're all finished up. So again, we just recommended extending their contract deadline just to adhere to policies and to keep their contract active. So that we propose extending to August 1st. And Milburn Borough, they have had lots of delays, including staff turnover, issues with accessing a sewer line. They had to hire a separate contractor to get a corroded manhole cover off their sewer line to take proper measurement. They put the project out to bid and they did award it to a contractor, but the bids came in much higher than they had anticipated. So they are now working with PennDOT to make up the rest of the funds through their liquid fuels program. And that process takes time. So they submitted a written request to us, requesting an additional 7 months-ish to complete their project through the end of the year. So they requested to extend their contract to December 31st, 2020. And the QAB also recommended to the board to allow that extension.
Okay.
So those are the time extension requests that we have. Should we do a motion for those? Do we do one for each of them?
No, you
or-
can do them all together if the board pertain that.
All right.
I'll move that we approve all 3 extension requests.
Thanks, Elaine.
I'll
Second,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So I'm glad you worked that out.
Yes, and to prevent this whole process from happening in the future, we'd like to make the time extension amendment in certain circumstances a little easier.
Yeah.
And I did talk to the folks at the state about making changes to our local policy once again. So I can just read this out loud if anyone has any questions. So the amended policy reads, in certain circumstances, the district's low volume road staff may amend a contract without requiring a written request from the applicant nor QAB or district board approval. Such circumstances include, but are not limited to, the need for additional time to finish construction that has already started or is scheduled to start within a reasonable amount of time, or to review project completion documentation. So that is the
Straightforward?
Yes.
Good. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Make things a
We
little.
would go to the board anytime we had a contract where we weren't comfortable dealing with the municipality on whether they'd ever get it done.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then we
right.
would vote on whether or not we would ask them the contract would be denied, and then they could apply again.
Mhm.
But we have a problem where we have to make sure that we spend our allocation within the 2-year time frame, or we lose it for allocation the next year.
Next time, huh?
So it's kind of touchy. We were last minute, and County Public Works and Francine helped me out with getting the advance to the county for the county project, which put us over the allocation that we had. So we're good to go.
Good, excellent. Good maneuvering. Mhm.
It's in the rule.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that came to a good ending, and I like this amendment here. It gives you wiggle room.
Yes.
Excellent.
So we would need a motion included
Okay.
in our policy.
Alrighty, I will hear a motion to, for this amendment to be added to our policy toward the low volume roads.
I'll make that motion.
Alrighty, Was that Randy?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I'll second.
Always. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you. And next for the fun thing, the conservation, if I didn't miss anything. Oh, no, watershed, that's fun too. The watershed specialist grant renewal
Not as fun.
for Karen.
So this is just the yearly renewal request that we submit to DEP for funding for the watershed specialist position. So the form is it's filled out, and this is for time period July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. So I just need 2 signatures from the chair of our board.
Okay.
And what is the amount that we are applying for?
So the grant request for this time period is $45,250. Oh, the district match of $9,050.
I'm very appreciative of the state going through the Growing Greener grant. They provide this funding to almost every conservation district in the state. It's something that's non-regulatory and gets into helping move project forward, and it's been very helpful for us.
Very good. Excellent. So it looks like you'll be around. Okay. Thank you, Karen. Now, up to the fun part. Michelle's poster contest thing. What's
Yes.
happening?
So, the deadline is close to submit posters. We only received about 32 posters this year, so it was a low turnout. We were a little delayed in getting the information out because I was waiting on answers from PACD because they created a whole new category of digital art, and we weren't sure if it was going to be judged with the regular posters. So it took some time for them to get back to me. But so everything was submitted via email, especially the digital posters. So I have them all on a Google Drive account. So I wanted to just present it at the meeting so you know what I was talking about. I just send you a link. But I'll send an email with a link to the posters, probably first thing tomorrow morning. And whoever wants and is willing to judge, that would be great. And you can just email me your choices back.
Okay.
There's about 3 categories that have, more than a few posters. So just need some input if you so kind to.
Right. So
And there
please.
are a digital category for the older grades. So there's regular and digital. It's all labeled in the folders.
Is there any criteria for judging that we are to be looking at?
I will send, along with the link, I will send a document that PACD provides us, just kind of like a guideline on how to judge. So yeah, I will send that along.
So please participate.
And I'll put a date in the email, but probably I just had to have them to PACD by the 30th of June. So, about a week or so.
Okay, good. Well, thanks a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
It's always so
thank
much fun. What's the theme this year?
It is healthy soil, healthy life.
Geez, another good topic. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Okay, this is another exciting thing. Invasive species recall boat cleaning trailer demonstration. Karen, this sounds like a fun.
Yeah, so this is a newer opportunity that was brought to us from the Pennsylvania Lake Management Society. They're coordinating having a trailer delivered to different sites around the state. I think especially Southeast Pennsylvania this year, it's making its rotations, but the trailer is designed to clean boats, and the purpose of doing that is to prevent the spread of invasive aquatic species. So when you move your boats throughout the state, it's keeping things like the zebra mussel or certain types of algae out of other waterways where it might not be present. So We are trying really hard to coordinate this with the Ridley Township Marina, since I guess so much foot traffic down there. And we're also coordinating with the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, who has, contacts down there and connections and can help us set that up. And we'd also be working with the new staff person at the Pennsylvania Sea Grant. So they'd be helping us with potential demonstrations, but we're talking about having it set up possibly for about 2 weeks, maybe a week, and going down every couple of days and sitting with it, answering questions.
Can you get your boat cleaned when you go there?
Well, you can do it yourself. I can show you, and then,
That's okay.
but
I don't have a boat and I'm glad.
But it's an educational tool.
Right,
because
exactly.
A lot of people going in and out of the marinas take this plant material and see things that they don't even suspect of being on the boat or in the
Right.
village. This sort of educates them to the need to clean that off before they take it somewhere else and spread it to other places.
Excellent. Makes a lot of sense. All right. So this sounds like a fun program.
Yeah, so it's in the works.
Uh-huh.
And we just have to nail down a date and figure out logistics and get it on down there.
Well, I guess you'll need the date relatively soon, right?
Yes.
We muddy the waters, as it were.
Right.
Okay. So thanks, Karen. Okay. So is Beth here today? Beth's not here. Beth's not here.
No, she was here earlier for the
Oh, that's right. She was already here today. She made her appearance. Didn't have any tips or things to look out for or whatever.
She did not.
Okay. Okay, Linda. Linda's on her iPad.
Hi.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I'm here. So I don't have that much. I am kind of quickly, my CDFR knowledge and background knowledge is withering quite quickly. But I will share, the joint annual conference this July 21st and 22nd. The State Conservation Commission meeting is on the 20th, and on the 21st is the PACD Executive Council meeting. And then I just wanted to, well, first of all, my report. I can't claim it to be my report anymore because I did not, and I probably won't very much in the future have an opportunity to edit it, which means you're getting a 5 or 6 or 7 page report. That's what comes to me from the state or from central office, and I always used to edit it down, really try to get it to 2 pages. But now you've got 5 or so pages in this report, and I apologize for that, but I'm not going to have time to do that moving forward. So until a new field rep comes on, there's still a lot. It's all the information. There's just a lot. It goes into more detail than most directors have time for. So that's why I usually try to really scale it back without losing much content. But so you do have it there, though. It has all the information that you would need and more. The only other thing that I'll say is to the staff and Ed, if I have anything that drops off the radar in terms of the compliance specialist role, please reach out to me, because not only do we at the Southeast have, still the ever coming in new issues for compliance, but we're trying to clean up the backlog. So if something falls off my radar, I really don't want that to happen. So I would just say, please, I don't mind being nudged, or, hey, what's been going on. So, that really is something that for the next few months, or maybe even 6 months until, and that might be optimistic in terms of catching up. But that's what we're trying to do. Just close out a lot of the old compliance issue enforcement cases, and then also just stay much more current on any that are incoming. So, Michelle, I know that you reached out to me for a site, and I'm not sitting in front of my computer right now, but that, for example, if that's something that fell off my radar, let me know, because I really want to be responsive in a timely manner when that's necessary. So yeah, just nudge me. And I think that's about it. I think that's about it. I won't take up any more of your time. But certainly I'm still around for questions in a field rep capacity when it's necessary.
Good.
Linda, I do have a question. As
Sure.
we compliance specialist role, will you be resuming the monthly compliance teleconferences?
I don't think that there, and I do know that you had requested it because you find value in all the districts meeting together for that, but that it's probably going to be handled on an individual district basis moving forward. That was just the preference of John and Bob to just keep it more involved at a district by district level. But they will move forward. I don't know on and at what schedule. It's going to be certainly more than just an as needed basis, because time really gets away from us if it's that. But I'm not sure what the schedule will be at this point. I haven't really talked to Bob about that for about a week and a half. That's about the last time that, because I did share your preference, Ed, and Bob just thought that would be better handled on an individual basis. But it's most definitely not going to be just like we're winging it site by site. You know, there does need to be upkeep. I know one of the things that Bob is working on, he's pretty technically skilled in terms of spreadsheets and documenting. So he's working on trying to get one of our tracking systems available to districts to be able to access and just add information. So, you know, I'm not sure where he is with that. Like I said, it's been about a week and a half that I last talked to him about that type of arrangement. But yes, we're definitely going to be in an organized fashion, having calls with the staff from each district and the region. I can't imagine them being much longer in between than monthly. So
Okay.
that will happen, Ed.
I guess you will update us at the roundtable meeting on this process.
Yeah. He's very busy. I don't mean very busy, but he's very active right now in trying to establish a list of things to talk to the districts about at the roundtable meeting in terms of, you know, how we want an enforcement package to come in, how we're going to move forward, you know, with a spreadsheet of sorts. You know, he's got a lot of things that he kind of wants to discuss at the roundtable in terms of how we're going to do business moving forward. So yes, that is definitely one of the things that he'll talk about at the roundtable.
Thank you.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thanks, Linda.
Sure.
So maybe we'll see you in the future, maybe not, huh? Because you're so busy now.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'll make it in person, maybe periodically, but I did commit to central office to still attend at least virtually most months. So, depending on what might come up or if I'm in the field otherwise. But I did commit to that. Your district is pretty stable and, doesn't go off the rails at all. Really, most of the Southeast regional districts are pretty set in how things go. But I know that central office feels much more comfortable having district staff there because it's actually been surprising to me over the years, the direction that some districts can go without somebody kind of there and just reminding them because that's our job to know the conservation district law and delegation type particulars, right to know, sunshine, all of that. That's our job, or that was my job as a field rep. So, and the district staff and even the district manager isn't really handling that kind of stuff on a day-to-day basis. So things get forgotten. So it's nothing nefarious. It's just that things get forgotten. So, central office isn't really comfortable with districts not being visited for months on end, which is how long it's going to take to fill my position. So yeah, you'll still see me.
All right, good. All right, so thanks, Linda.
Absolutely.
All right, see from you at least. Okay, next up is Ed's report.
Do you have a copy of it in front of you?
Yeah,
Not time enough. There it is.
Yeah.
I did do an analysis of the revenue that we're receiving, based on our forecast. I think it was like $263,000 that we forecasted that we would provide to the county to offset our operating costs. And we're well in line with that. And then with the money that I know that will be coming in, we will definitely meet our objective of not go over like we have in the last 5 years. So that's good. Quarterly claims and the 102, 105 report have been updated on Greenport. We have some more reports that are due very shortly, but then we'll start to work on those. I think July 1st is the deadline for one. We have a complaint from Upper Darby Township to the county on Kent Mill Dam. And I did reach out to the state, to both the 105 staff in the region and Govin Dariani, who is the dam inspector, and also to the state central office. And they have a permit for the dam, and it's not for us. So it may not be owned by us. It may be still under the ownership of people that used to own the mill.
Oh, wow.
So
Are they
they're
still alive?
supposed to be looking into it.
Your county-owned land right there?
Yes, the Garrett tract.
Garrett tract.
Mhm.
On one side,
Just on one side.
on the opposite side from where the trail is, right?
Garrett tract is on the same side.
Same side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the complaint, I went out to verify and looked at it. The only thing that's wrong with the dam is that there was like a concrete cap on the top of the dam. And on the one side on the bank closer to the trail, that cap had been washed out during the storm. But the flow was like 6 inches different than the other side. So the concern was from Upper Darby that the kids are using that as a swimming hole, and that they could be stuck through this passage and hit on the rocks down below. Dangerous. But if you look at the dam, and I sent the photographs to Danielle from Public Works Boyd, and let her know that I've seen worse.
Yeah, right.
Lots worse, and I don't think it's that big a deal. So we're trying now the state to determine who the ownership of the dam is and who they're holding responsible for it. Upper Darby thinks it's us, and we don't know. So we're looking into that.
There's something that can be done to make it more of a deterrent for people to not swim in there?
Well,
Piranhas, there's a good idea.
Chester had that same problem with a property owned by Natural Lands Trust, and dam for them with the RCD.
Oh.
Yeah, we were out there trying to remove the dam, and at the same time, the kids were there swimming, just.
They were
paying
washed
attention to
downstream, right?
They didn't care, but now the dam is removed and trying to get shad and
Yeah.
various other migratory fish to come back up.
Uh-huh. So made that happen here?
This I don't, they took out the Park Dam that was in Kentville. So that dam was removed. This one's a little bit larger than that dam that was removed when they used the money from, there was an oil spill.
Right.
And they used all that money to remove 3 dams, 3 obstacles in the creek. So this was the next dam up. But I don't know about anybody trying to remove it, especially since no one knows who owns it.
Right, exactly. So,
A lot of people like that one, just how it looks.
yeah, it does look
Pretty
pretty.
high and
Right.
water rushing over it.
Yeah.
It's pretty substantially higher than the water down below. When you're coming around the trail, it's like right at eye level.
Right,
You can see-
exactly. So it's an attractive nuisance.
Yeah, so some people wonder about, like, in big storms with the water rushing over the dam, and if that causes more damage downstream.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's proven or not, though.
No, usually the problem is that the dam blows out, like we had one on, back on, Ridley Creek, Sackville Mill. And Richmond, and that one, when it blew out during the 7th hurricane, the sediment that came out of it, unbelievable, 15-foot high banks of sediment.
Ooh.
So they didn't fix it, or didn't do anything to it. Now every time we had a bigger and bigger storm, that sediment comes down below and causes problems for the neighborhood.
Sure.
This dam in Upper Darby is, the creek right there is the municipal boundary of Floating Heights, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, and this is right where the trail damage happened a few years ago.
Yep, I drove over, I drove on the trail to get up to the dam, and that's right where it is, right where the dam.
So that came up recently in some of our talk about the trail. Like, some people have asked, like, when does the trail going to be fixed? I think that some things have to be weighed first, seeing like, can we build it back in a way that it's not just going to be damaged again?
Right.
Does the dam have anything to do with it?
The water that would have come up there was over the top of the dam, so it was a flood situation that caused it. And we're still having a problem with Ridge Road Commercial. That is a site that has both 102 and 105 issues. It's on Ridge Road and 202. When they put the project in, it had no wetlands delineated because they had claimed at the time, and that was many years ago now, it was a different owner, that it had prior converted farmland that was issued by the NRCS. They claimed, but they didn't provide any supporting information for that. And ever since then, we've been working to try to figure out what point. The wetlands have been found on site by the 105 staff. So now they're in a position of the permit came into us for permit renewal. And that was over 2 years ago,
3 now.
3 years ago, when we had the permit come in, and we've been on hold without letting the applicant really know why we're on hold, because they're trying to get compliant. So Carol, who is the compliance specialist, and her last name is,
Canadiani.
that's why I didn't say it. She is handling it very well. She has the DP attorney. We met with the head of the regional office, Andy Hartzell, and laid it out for what the problems were, and he assigned an attorney to it as well. And we had a meeting with them. Now we're waiting to schedule a meeting with the project owners, the developers. So hopefully we'll get that in an area. Right now it's sort of setting, being farmed basically in hay at this present time. There's only a couple temporary stockpiles that were put on the property, and no other disturbance has occurred.
Oh, good. So it's hanging fire.
We're trying to, something came up during COVID. I don't know how the board feels about it, but with COVID and the easiness of doing Zoom meetings, every time that we do a review, nobody wants to just resubmit. they want to have Zoom meetings to try to review their plans over, and it's just too
Right.
much.
Totally time consuming.
Right, and then it defeats the purpose of having people come in and wait their turn in line.
Yeah.
So they sort of try to jump the line by doing that. So I've been trying to persuade them, I don't have any problem with, if they have a question, to, respond to their question from my review comments, because that's perfectly reasonable. But to have them try to, sell me on
Yeah, right.
reviewing it, that's what I'm trying to avoid, and so I cut down on the number of meetings, to try to do that.
Mhm.
But it's just something left over from COVID, because everything
Right.
is being done virtually.
And now it seems so easy to everybody. Now they all want to use it.
They
right?
all want to do it, yeah.
They don't have to go out of their way.
So if you hear any complaints, that is why you might get some complaints.
We'll defend you.
I'm nice about it, though.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
That's all I have. for you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Ed. Good report and interesting. Next up is Michelle.
I think all the big meetings we've already touched on in one way or another. So just still a lot of applications coming in, new applications for MPDS coverage. Handful of complaints this month, and then just one kind of a bigger one was down in Upland Borough along Chester Creek. There's a business that has a tree clearing operation, and they've been piling their wood chips as well as branches and other logs along the creek within the floodplain and floodway. So the borough has been involved, they asked us to get involved, and I've been there twice. Last Friday, someone from DEP came down to take a look as well, so a notice of violation will probably be issued by DEP because the mulch is now catching fire and it's causing smoke to go over the creek and at the intersection of Crowland Street and Upland Avenue, right off of 95. So it's now becoming also a health and safety hazard as well. The property owner seems willing to work with us in the borough to get this remediated, but it will take some time for them to get a lot of that material removed. So just
I did send a copy of this stuff just to let Alyssa Murhoff, who's with the DA's office, just to let her know that this
Yeah.
is something that has multifaceted things and could become a bigger issue, but just keep it on her radar.
Now, are like PennDOT involved or any, are they involved too?
not that I'm aware of,
Okay.
unless the borough has called them. They
Right.
did not mention that. We did meet with the borough manager and another gentleman who has multiple roles within the borough. And their fire department has been called out to the site a handful of times it started on Memorial Day Monday, the smoking, so.
Mhm.
It's basically spontaneous combustion.
Right, exactly. Yeah, all that heat.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, so not really a chapter 102 issue, there's no earth disturbance, but it's the piling of this material within the floodway.
Right. So,
And that's all I have to highlight unless anyone has questions.
yeah, sounds like you're staying on top of it, which is good.
Trying to.
What's a pinetum in Haverford College?
I'm not, they are creating a stormwater basin on the campus. Forget, is it along Haverford?
Yeah, it's one below their tennis court, below their athletic field. They did have discharges from the tennis courts and from the various areas that were going down there, and I guess Haverford Township was getting some problems with flooding on Haverford Road.
And pine trees, I need them.
I don't know why they call it that.
Yeah, that would be the right way to say it.
I've heard that before. It's like an arboretum for pine trees.
Okay, well,
So
that's, it's part of their arboretum, part of their thing where they're building this. It was an area that they let revert to meadow a few years ago. And it was on some of the pond dredging that they did from their pond, they put there to stabilize it. That's when they changed.
All righty. that it, Michelle?
Yep, that's everything I have.
Excellent, good job.
Thank you.
Next up is Ari.
So yeah, as you can see, big chunk of my meetings was, the basic training that occurred in Harrisburg. Even though I've been here for more than a year now, I did see a few things, out in that, I believe that was York County where we were, that I haven't seen out in the field here, so, that was interesting. And also just to kind of converse with other county employees and find out how other counties in Pennsylvania do things, because Delaware County is very unique and special in that way. And it's just good to kind of get that experience. And then there were a couple of meetings that I attended with some consultants for answering questions. I don't really have anything else to highlight, just a lot of reviewing, a lot of inspections. It's a lot of projects getting started right now, a lot of school projects and stuff like that. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
It seems like you're appropriately busy.
Yes, yes, I love being busy.
Oh, good. I think you came to the right place.
Yeah, we have another 14 permits in here. We're in the review file now for. They did get busy.
Indeed, okay. Thank you, Ari.
No problem.
Okay, next up, Karen.
So I covered much of my report earlier in the meeting between the Line Roads and the stormwater basin at Bear Acres. But I did want to highlight the Master Watershed Steward Training Program is finishing up, and Ari and Michelle, specifically Michelle, was kind enough to put on a presentation for the trainees about construction best management practices. And she was joined by Ben, one of the agricultural conservation technicians in Chester County, and he spoke about ag BMPs. So it was a great session, very engaged. So thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Ari, for chiming in too.
Of course.
But
I think it's great the way Karen is working with the Master Watershed Specialist Program, so they're combining resources, and I think the training of these individuals has proven very effective for Delaware County, because they're responsible for having some of their own projects that can continue with their program, and they're doing quite a bit of work on it.
Good.
That's pretty good.
Do you see like continuing education with the other counties? Watershed specialists in the other?
So this is with the Master Watershed Steward from Penn State Extension. So they're the volunteers that go through a training and then contribute so many hours of service to become certified Master Watershed Stewards. And
It's in Chester and Delaware County. Yeah.
this program here is Chester and Delaware counties. So, I mean, I work with both groups, but specifically any Delaware County related projects. Draw in people from closer geographies, so mostly Delaware County residents. But I'm sorry, that's all I wanted to highlight, unless there are any questions.
How much money are you gonna get from the Arbor Day Foundation, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. So this Delco tree giveaway, we did this, I think in 2021, I think in the spring of 2021, with John Hines Wildlife Refuge, the Friends of Refuge, and Natural Lands was also involved. So it's sponsored by the Friends of Hines Refuge, and we all just play different parts in pulling things together to make it happen. So I think we just submitted for a couple $1,000. I want to say maybe around 3,000.
That'll get you a few trees.
What's that?
That'll get you a few trees.
I think we were proposing about 100 trees this time around.
Nice.
And that, you know, it was submitted. So if we do hear back from the Arbor Day Foundation, and it's good news, we're hoping to have an event in the fall.
Excellent.
The other big project that